find it, so I'll flash through it, but same thing for all of it. Those are the sort of the basic big steps.
Wow.
Again, he's smiling like in every frickin' picture I took of him, and I'm like, no, you're scared. You're out of your element. You're the boy in red.
Well,
So
it's okay.
He
He
can't
gets
help
you.
it. He's fanboying. He can't.
And then this guy who plays the rebel brother, it's pretty funny, like how, I don't know, art imitates life, life imitates art. I picked these people because I thought they embodied an element of that I saw in the characters. And so this brother is sort of like this criminal who, as the story progresses, he devolves worse and worse into crime. But they're all supposed to be young, and so I talked to him, and he's actually a former student of mine. He was like, hell yeah, being your comic, that's badass, man, yeah. And then, of course, he was late every time, and the character is late in the book to everything.
Naturally.
He shows up with a frickin' beard. Dude. so you're supposed to be 17. So anyway, I had to draw his beard out, but
Some 17-year-olds have beards.
just flipping through. Same thing.
What kind of scanner do you use?
I have a pretty nice scanner, actually. It's Epson. You know, when I got my check for Repo, I wanted to make one investment, and I was toggling between getting a nice scanner and getting a Cintiq, which is a lot of artists use those now. They're basically flat monitors that you can spin 180 degrees and draw directly onto. Most animation studios use them now, and my colorist uses them. But I'd never used it before, and something just told me I was going to be doing this a little bit more traditional, so since I was going to be scanning my artwork, I invested in an 11 by 17 really nice flatbed scanner. It's an Epson, I'm drawing a blank right now, but there's not many 11 by 17, so.
Yeah.
So
it scans really well.
anyway, that is that. For those of you that are interested, hopefully, in picking up the books, I'm selling signed copies for $10, but again, I talked about noise, like there's yelling sounds coming from in the house. Right. How do you indicate that? Like, where are they coming from?
Noise from my eyes.
Just gibberish, yeah. But you kind of get the sense, like, what is this? There's not the happiest place on earth, right?
That was the first page I opened to, and I was like, whoa, what's this stuff?
I hope that was informative. I hope everyone could see. If anyone had any questions, I'll be happy to answer. Anyone? Sure.
Okay, you said you sketched it out and then you scanned it in and did like Photoshop or whatever, or did the coloring. For like beginning artists, like whatever, would you? I mean, do you think it's important just to go ahead and use your own? Because we can scan it and do all that. We have stuff, but I mean, just to use the markers anyway to do the colors.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I look at it this way. Obviously, digital arts, they're not going away. And on some level, probably most things you do, unless you're going to be a painter hanging something in a gallery, and even then, a lot of times that's printed on canvas. The final format will be digital, and I know I love markers. For example, I use markers a lot because my background in illustration requires you to draw fast and convey things in a very shorthand way, and markers are excellent for that. And also, you can get high from breathing the fumes.
Yeah.
But like I find when I scan markers, for example, it never quite looks great. There's something about the strokes on paper. So I think it really, I mean, you should learn everything is how I look at it, and decide what's best for what you're doing. Because, you know, Photoshop is just a tool. And now, with things like the Cintiq, it's becoming almost the identical process that you would use if you were drawing on paper anyway. It's weird, my buddy who's coloring this he was totally traditional until maybe 2 years ago, and now he doesn't use paper anymore. Everything is done, and it's great work. I mean, if you look at some of his artwork, it feels like a painting. And he's got like, you know, like some of the splats, for example, the paint splats, it's stuff that he had actually splatted on real paper and scanned, and he's built them into brushes on his setup. So probably took a year to get that all going, but yeah, now he does that, and most studios are paperless now. He worked on some animated show called Wah Wah Wubsy.
Oh my god.
I don't think it went anywhere, which is funny because in his personal life he
Oh.
draws like these horror images, you know, bloody faces and eyes, and then for his job he's drawing the cutest little.
That was a
characters
pretty
ever.
bad show.
That's always animation. But anyway, I think you should learn everything, and my gut is you'll be
Sorry,
unemployable if you don't know how to do it digitally. That's not to say that you can't. I mean, I don't think most comic artists are doing it the way I'm doing it. So it's not to say you can't make your own process work, but if you're interested in paying the bills as an artist, I definitely think. I mean, the Cintiq will probably be obsolete in a year. They'll have something better and newer. But I think just to get used to working with a tablet, working with a Wacom or a Cintiq is probably pretty invaluable. And it's quick.
And clean and pure?
Well, I went to art school. I graduated from Otis College of Art and Design with a degree in illustration. And then thought that I wanted to be a storyboard artist for animation. So I'm like, awesome, storytelling, cartoons. I love that. And when I looked at what those people could make financially, right out of college, it was like, wow, that's us.
Cool.
That is Daddy. My God, you go home with that man? What's that? Wig? Dude, I'm in the middle of a lecture. Thank you for the picture. So I put together a portfolio and I went out and I submitted my work to all the animation studios in LA, which is where I live. And most animation studios, at least at the time, required you to take what they call a pencil test.